Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the Goosebumps game. So, we're where we started. I looked at the walkthrough just to kind of catch up and see what's left to do. The walkthrough I'm looking at is kind of concise, overly concise, so it makes it seem like there really isn't that much more to the game. There really isn't that much more to the game, but it seems like even more. But one thing that was interesting that I discovered is putting on the mask and taking it off automatically in front of the beast from the east wasn't the only way to defeat him. You could have also given the shrunken head to him, which means I suspect that there might be some multiple solutions for other puzzles too, but not enough that you would just accidentally run into it. Or logical solutions would make sense all the time. Okay, so I wanted to see if we could open this padlock. He glances off the lock with a loud clank. He starts to doubt the janitor can open the door himself. And when we start getting into some of the solutions here, it's going to get really ridiculous. Use the screwdriver on the padlock. Clang, still nothing. Lock's still not going anywhere. Of course, it looks like you can see screws on the shed door where you might just be able to take apart the door, but you are supposed to be a kid also. So I think specifically this is just an unused area. Like, I don't think we ever get in there. We need to go back to the house. There is quite a few things, I suppose, or at least a couple of really important things that we need to get, and you really wouldn't have gotten it until this point. One is our brother Chad. He is sort of in the house. We still hear noises, certainly, when people are, when we're walking through the forests. This game tries to make some dark, creepy sections, but it also has some bright sections, so it's kind of nice, but it's not a big enough area. Generally speaking, I would have wanted a lot less time to have been spent in inside this house and more. So according to the walkthrough, there's no way to defeat the slime beast, or at least not in that underground area. The way to defeat the slime beast is instead in this area. Well, not this area. See, I also don't know, like, why we had a search where we could do with music, and that didn't seem like that ever played a role. So this area has been a pain in our butt for a very long time. Okay, it's telling me the walkthrough did. I looked this up. To use the screwdriver on the pipe. Wedge the screwdriver into the coupling and use leverage to open it up. It doesn't take much. The pipe bursts open, gobs of gross goop gush out. So now we have big gross goop. So then we use the saliva on the monster blood. You hurriedly open the bottle and empty its contents on the green slime. Tension hangs in the air. The spots of the gargoyle saliva touches solidify, hardening into gray stone. The effects spread until the entire floor is covered in petrified sludge. And we are now safe, because this wall, if you don't know any better, you swear the wall's just moved. Like, everything is forced open, so we can now use the step ladder. place the step ladder beneath the catch. But the other thing that's weird is we're supposed to use the mirror in here. Use the mirror on the wall. The mirror shows exactly what is expected. Use the mirror on the monster blood. I guess that maybe I need to be in the next room and use the mirror. That would make a little bit more sense. On the attic. Let's look at the monster. Floor is covered with solidified remains of an oozing green mass. It seems harmless now, but you resolve to step softly just in case. Let's open the attic and get here. So we're almost done with the whole house. Pull down the ladder to the attic. And now climb. With one last push, you throw yourself into the attic. The attic is about as spooky as you'd expect. Dark grime, cobwebs, and one big ornate mirror. So yes, it makes a lot of sense now that you see a mirror to use a mirror in a mirror. But let's look around. It's just a bunch of old junk. Search the boxes. You shift through the boxes, giving each a cursory glance. Nothing jumps out at you. Boxes, boxes, boxes. Bike. Mom's old exercise bike. She put it together herself, and that was enough of a workout for you. It's been here ever since. You hear muffled laughter. Interesting. Window provides a single beacon through the musty darkness in the attic. And more boxes. You feel an icy hand on your shoulder. And see, it's timed. Let's look at the mirror. The most expensive mirror you've ever seen. The frame is extremely ornate metal, iron maybe. The image has a depth to it you've never experienced. And yada. Colorful remains of piano, light broken in the corner. Reflection shudders for a moment. No thanks. If you're that desperate for candy, there are plenty of other options. Cavity City comes to mind. Reflection lifts its arm and points directly at you. Oh, so is this supposed to be me? My reflection is? Oh, so this is the reason why I chose a gender. Apparently, for the entire game. And this puts me in a reflection of someone who's a lot older than I thought it would be. This is like a 12 or 13 year old. If not, or 16-year-old. Search boxes. Reflection reaches its hands together for your neck. Is it gonna move and do that? Your reflection in the mirror isn't moving. You're waving your arms back and forth, but it's simply standing there staring. A spasm wrecks your body rigid and you topple to the ground. Unable to move, you roll your eyes, straining to see your assailant, but all you see is the mirror. And see, we had already kind of known that was what was going to happen. There was a book in the study talking about a monster that attacks your own reflection. So we just use this mirror on the mirror. You spin the face to reflection, holding out the hand mirror you've been carrying. The image shudders and a crack explodes across the glass. A faceless voice screams, the mirror shudders, everything falls silent. Okay. And look what we've got there, a Goosebumps book. It's a Goosebumps story called Let's Get Invisible. You used to read Goosebumps all the time when you were kids. What? Why in the world were you not referencing all of these Goosebumps stories and items that, like, if you knew what Goosebumps is? I thought it was going to be that your brother would be the Goosebumps fan and you would have kind of never read any of them. So he would be giving you all the hints and comments and he'd be your sidekick throughout most of this game. But if you knew what Goosebumps is, you should have been recognizing half of these monsters that you've been running into, if not all of them. Of course, you knew that dummy on the TV looked familiar. It was Slappy, the evil ventriloquist dummy. So you even knew his name, and yet you said nothing during the gameplay. That's ridiculous. Mirror, show the remains of your least favorite mirror. Let's take the Goosebumps book. You pick up the children's horror novella and notice the author's name, R.L. Stine. If only you had a way to get a hold of him somehow, maybe he'd know what to do. If his Goosebumps monsters are real, everyone's in a lot of trouble. You better get to them all. Okay. That is useful and all, except for the fact that, and this is kind of the setup for the movie, how do you get to them all, or how do you contact R.L. Stine? Use the Goosebumps on the mirror. You attempt to force it into the open book and realize how ridiculous that is. Something's wrong here. I didn't read all the walkthrough, but I should have. You walk back downstairs feeling much lighter than you have since arriving. Rooms are still off, but it feels less like a haunted house and much more like your house again. You hop down the stairs, mind racing for a way to reach the mall when the solution stumbles clumsily through the door. Chad, you slam directly into your brother as you leap down the stairs. He barely seems to notice. Hey Rydo, glad you're here. So your brother apparently does have a bedroom, but not in this haunted house because he came to this house for some reason. So you'd assume he has a bedroom in this house. But then he is older than you, it seems like. You see all this crazy stuff going on? Ask about Chad, ask about Mom. And so this is when we're gonna rush into the third act and probably just rush through the game. This is the second time we've had any conversation options, by the way, too. I know, right? Are you okay? Not really, he says while looking around, making sure the coast is clear. I realized something about Mom and Dad. Why they've been acting so weird lately. They're monsters, question mark? Ask for a favor. Let's go with their monsters? Oh no, of course, it makes perfect sense. When did those creatures replace our parents? No, our parents are the same ones they've always been. No, what I'm trying to say is even more shocking. I'm not their son at all. I can prove it, Rydo, you'll see. Mom keeps important documents in the trunk at the foot of their bed. Go up and get my birth certificate. Normally, completely ignore everything you just said. Even by Chad's standards, this latest theory is ridiculous. However, today it might just work to your advantage. I'll make you a deal. Since you're my brother, you know, probably. I'll go get your birth certificate, but afterward you have to give me a ride to the mall. I know how to stop the monsters, but I can't do it without your help. Do we have a deal? Sounds like we have a deal. You get the birth certificate, so my fingerprints are nowhere to... you'll get the birth certificate, so my fingerprints are nowhere to be seen, and I'll drive you to the mall afterwards. Good. Remember, the certificate's upstairs in the dad's room, in the trunk. The code to unlock it is 1992. Which, I don't know, would that be his birthday? Your fingerprints aren't on birth certificates? At all? And Goosebumps just crashed. Interesting. Interesting. Let's launch it back up. Wow, and it seems like there's tons and tons of achievements that I haven't gotten. That seems odd. If this is one of those games where achievements are, let's see, yeah, player beware, you're in for a scare. If this was one of the games where you had to find multiple solutions for a lot of different things, that would be annoying. Let's see. I don't think I have the Goosebumps book, so the last time it saved was quite a while ago. Let's just rush through this. It's not too bad. It's totally unacceptable. Wait a minute. I don't have the gargoyle blood either. Man, ooh, I haven't saved in quite a while. Quite the time. Well, I guess I can rush through this, but I'm not sure I've beaten the monster in the forest. But to get back to what I was saying, they take footprints when you're born. They don't take fingerprints. And so the only thing you could assume here is that either your brother Chad is trying to do something illegal, like erase his history and disappear, which I'm sure in that act constitutes fraud at some point. It could be that Chad has been replaced by a monster. So we'll take the Goosebumps button. Book. Alright, and now would be, I guess, a decent place to save. Just so we, in case the game crashes again, we can move on. Up down the stairs, mind racing for a way to reach the mall when your solution stumbles clumsily through the door. The thing here, though, is I don't have the key card now, so I'm gonna have to go back and get it. Let's ask about Mom this time. Have you heard from Mom at all? No, I haven't. That's actually why I rushed home. You're not gonna like this, Rydo. Mom and Dad, okay, well, there's no easy way to say this. Ask for a favor. That can wait. I need a ride to the mall right away. Why? Remember the Goosebumps books? Well, they're real, and the monsters have taken over the town. Slappy's the mastermind, and he's hiding in the town center Gallerina Mall. We have to stop him. Look, if you wanted to go to the mall, you could have just asked like a normal person. You don't have to think of some crazy story. Back to what the actually important stuff. Mom and Dad aren't actually really my parents. I'm adopted, and they kept it secret. If you don't believe me, just look through the trunk in their bedroom. My birth certificate will set me free. Birth certificate, got it. But I need to get a ride to the mall afterwards. Sounds like we have a deal. You go get the birth certificate so that my fingerprints are nowhere to be seen, or not that they would have fingerprints, and I'll drive you to the mall afterwards. Good. Remember, the certificate's upstairs and Mom and Dad's are in the truck. The code is 1992. Why can't he just go get them? That's a question, certainly. Let's just save the game here. And up the stairs. You nervously ascend the stairs for 2 rooms unknown. The staircase connects. Okay, so no crash, but really unacceptable for as simplistic as this game is for it to crash at all. It also isn't a very long game either. So yeah, there's not a lot of excuse you can make here at all. Okay, you're back in the master bedroom. Chad wants whatever's in that big chest. Let's open it. Clunk thunk, the trunk's locking disengages, its lids pops open slightly, you lift it the rest of the way. And it's a big trunk of your pet's nostalgic items. Search. Among the other things, your brother's birth certificate is in the trunk. This must be what he's after. You carefully roll up the birth certificate and head downstairs. Do I? Because it didn't seem like the game did. It clearly indicates mom and dad are his parents. Alright. It's too much. You return to the hallway. Hallway crosses over the entry, downstairs to reach further. Trying to just burn through all of this and go as fast as possible through all of this. We need to go deal with the beast from the east again, and I think that's it. But Chad, he has this wild theory about his upbringing. Well, we'll give it to him and prove that he is actually your brother. Unfortunately. He happily presents the birth certificate, eager to receive your end of the bargain. Oh, I guess I was wrong, he says sadly, poorly hiding the air's been knocked out of him. Chad shakes his head. I was so certain. You clear your throat. So, about that ride to the mall. Alright, he's certainly shaping up to be a pleasant companion. If it's that important, let's get going. He leaves the house, shuffling to his car while you follow. You hope that the drive improves his mood. Vibing here is too much. You head back outside for some air. We're standing outside the haunted version of the house. Your brother Chad's there too. He looks confused by the whole ordeal, and you can tell he's trying not to show it. So, I could talk to him. Let's see. Talk. Still need a ride. Carrie didn't need the extra miles, but alright. Sorry, maybe a little later. You're breaking her heart. Don't worry, Carrie. We'll drive somewhere fun later, I promise, Carrie. I assume being in the car, can't really introduce that as a thing without explaining it. Also, you shouldn't name the car Carrie after the book Carrie, the horror book Carrie, and not really reference that more directly. Particularly since this is supposed to be a kid's game, which it's really not. It really does not work as a kid's game at all. Let's see, what is this? Let's Get Invisible, the 6th book in the Goosebumps series. You used to have so many of these books. Let's see. If I was to save right now and try it and try and use the book, maybe I turn invisible. Just use it on itself. Apparently you can't just make things invisible. So I guess what will happen is the Let's Get Invisible Goosebumps book will make it more of a role. So last time we solved this, we put on the mask. This time we can solve this by just using the shrunken head. Use the shrunken head on the beast. You hold out the shrunken head with trembling hand, the beast falls in one knee and bows at the head, submitting. Impressive loot. Me not realize you're such high level. Backs away nervously, maybe we'll play again someday. Ilken Brute shuffles backwards facing you until you reach a safe distance, then he bounds off to the trees. So we needed to do this to get the key card, but I think at that point we're kind of done. Like, this by far is the biggest part of the game, and I would say it's more of a 2-act game than a proper 3-act game, because you move and have reasons to move around outside of the house, whereas it would have been pretty easy to just have the player decide to be locked, the game to decide to lock the player into the house and not let you out until you had found everything and done everything. And also, if this was going to be a proper, if outside the house and inside the house were going to be proper separated acts, you should have probably lost some items out of your inventory and started over from scratch to just make it easier. Now, clearly, the 3rd act has the cliche of, are you ready to go? You can't come back. I think you probably could come back, but yeah, I'm just not sure. Let's see, what if I was to use this on the brother? Send the subject and snap a picture. A moment later, a photo slides out. Let's look. Pull a picture of an old guy. Looks like your grandpa, maybe. But he's wearing your brother's Leatherman jacket. So did I just curse my brother to make him old? Or is this my grandfather in disguise? Let's see if we were to use the mirror on the big brother. His reflection shows exactly as expected. And like, there's so many little things that just don't matter. Use with this. And I really don't get the whole map thing. Why would you let my phone die in this game? It makes no sense. He doesn't respond about, have you seen this dog? Use the talisman on him. Nothing happens. And you can't go full psychopath and stab him. Well, apparently you can. Was this old photo? Yeah, you don't get any response with the old photo. Use this on him. Nope, that doesn't work either. So yeah, there's no interaction here, even if someone makes sense. So let's go. Thanks, bro, you say. He forcefully nods toward the car, quite seriously. You roll your eyes and add, thanks, Carrie. That's more like it. So where's the old girl taking us? Apparently we could fast travel to school or the mall. I don't see a real reason to go to the school, but let's do it anyways. Better head back to school. You can't be serious. School? You're a weird kid, you know that. Just drive. Fewer questions, more driving, please. Okay, jeez. Says Mom. I'm just giving my little sister a hard time. So there's another sister reference, since I'm playing as a female character. The car ride resolves without further teasing when he drops you off at school. School parking lot is nearly empty and most of the school is gone. You can faintly hear the football team practicing in the distance. And I guess this is Carrie. But honestly, is there any reason to even be here? No. So let's. Car's ready to go. Let's go. Yeah, he grins around and hop on, and then where are we headed? To the mall. Town Center Galleria and step on it. Sounds like fun, Rydo. Let's go to the mall today. I'm ready. Buckle your seatbelt. We're the only ones who can stop Slappy. He just stares at you with utterly confused. Alright, the whole Goosebumps thing. Freaky weird. He guns it out of the lot and you make all the lights. A lot of deserted. The lot's deserted and Chad looks for a good spot. Mall parking lot. Completely empty when you arrive. Slappy and his monsters must already be inside. You get out of the car, the door echoing as you shut it. Chad places his hand on your shoulder. Good luck in there, sis. I don't understand all the stuff you said, but the monster sounds... these monsters sound pretty nasty. If anyone can stop Slappy, it's you. And so he's not even going to be your sidekick or your helper or even a good older brother for the end section of this game. We have almost 40 items. Sure, 4 of them are hint pictures and 1 hint photo. And we're starting Act 3, but I really don't feel like Act 3 is going to be that long. I think it's going to be kind of consistent and a little bit more obvious and a little bit easier to accomplish. What was the hardest part of Act 2? It was just kind of the general mechanics of the whole thing. Like, no specific puzzle was way difficult compared to all the other puzzles. They were just all interconnected in odd ways that often is the case in point-and-click adventure games, but usually there's a little bit more logic to it, or reasoning or rhyming. Nothing super makes sense. Getting to the attic and breaking the mirror to get a Goosebumps book makes no sense. Opening a window to get gargle saliva to defeat monster blood and turn it to stone to stop walls from crushing you doesn't really make sense. Solving the chess puzzle, which I guess the chess puzzle was probably the best puzzle in the game. You could kind of clearly see that there probably would have been a hacking mini game for the computer and a lock-picking mini game for the trunk had they put a little bit more effort into this, a little bit more time into it. But yeah, the most difficult thing I would say is just all this random garbage. A lot of garbage. I've played some point-and-click adventures where you have tons of garbage, but this one is, for as new as the game is, it's really beyond the pale. Plus, no hint system. They took away the map system, and no highlighting of object system. So no modern conveniences at all for a 2015 game. It's not like this concept was thought up when Goosebumps books were brand new and coming out. This was for the movie. The Jack Black Goosebumps movie was the reason they're making this. We're playing, I suppose, in theory, the story of what happened before the movie happened, or perhaps what happened in a different city from what happened in the city in the movie. That might also be the case. Anyways, it's been another 30 minutes. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me, I'm asking people to friend me on Steam and gift me a game or a gift card. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.